What's happening, Vito Gate? It's your week 5 PR with the Little Dick Boys, as always. The people's choice.
Yeah, always people's choice.
Best in town, baby.
Yeah, so we got the trade report here. We got a lot of trades happening this week. Let's round them up.
The trade action is starting.
So, we're just gonna go high overview. Uh, Josh Gordon for Connor. Obviously, there's some other trades like other picks in there, Tyler Boyd and Robbie Anderson. But I think Um, based off of everyone in the chat and based off of Reddit, there's a kind of a clear winner. It's Josh for now. We're gonna see how they ease Gordon in, but um, well, yeah, we'll have to figure that one out because he didn't even play when they said they might play him last week, but that was his first week back, so we can't really put any thought into that. And the other trade, the other kind of big trade for Nick was getting a second round pick for Brown. And he got D.D. Westbust, who actually played better than Brown last week. But this was definitely an overpay. Um, Boom bust asset. You can't really pay a second round for that.
Oh, of course not, man. Absolute rinsing by Nick. That little picture in the bottom right is a action of what happened after the trade. Dylan took Tyson behind ye
Nick.
old metal shed.
He
Did I
said
say
Dylan.
Dylan? Nick took him behind and gave him the eggplant, as you can see. Yeah, on that first trade, I think it's one that could really go either way as the season goes on. We'll have to wait and see. But I got Reddit and Meester Noah on my side, and what else really matters besides those two things, right?
Yeah.
Next two trades here we got is the number one waiver pick Dylan had, Wayne Gallman, traded him to Tuan for 2/7, but we all know one of those sevenths moves up 3 rounds since the picks will all change once we change that keeper
2021.
system. So he kind of fleeced Tuan. Gallman had a good week, but who knows how long he's gonna be putting up those points with Saquon seeming pretty optimistic. So
Yeah, 3 to 5
oh,
weeks, I heard.
good short-term rental for Tuan, but those picks will be nice for Dylan. Next, we got Coleman for Fuller in a fifth between Sterling and Jaden. This one is probably looking like a win for Jaden because, like you say there, who knows who's going to be the guy when Coleman even comes back?
Hmm.
All of the backs in that system have really had a lot of success. So a fifth was a pretty hefty price, it seems. But who knows? It could pay off because the backs in the 49ers are always producing. So if Coleman is the guy, then that'll be pretty nice for Sterling.
Yeah, I think the 49ers running backs as a whole have the most points out of any running back group in the league. So, I mean, Coleman's a good player. We'll just have to see
hmm
where he fits in. And uh, I just think Jaden wins this pretty hard because he still has the running back depth and he got a fifth rounder and a backup receiver. So,
Might work out for Sterling though. Might
yeah.
work out. Next two we got here. Oh shit, I took both those last two. Hey, I was not supposed to do that. Oh well
That's
though.
fine.
We
Go
got
ahead.
two trades with the other host here, so I'm gonna cover these two with Noah. So first of all, Rojo for Samuel, and there's a couple picks in there, but it was essentially a one for one. Those picks were pretty irrelevant, hey?
Yeah, there's a 5 round swap.
Yeah, okay. What was it, like a 7 and a 12?
8 and 13
Okay, so late rounds anyhow, but
for him.
good trade for Noah here. I think Samuel's value is only going down. That bub there in the Carolina quarterback room, and Rojo is just he's trending upwards. He is getting more of the work than old man Peyton Barber, and that offense has been very productive and has had some of the highest carry percentages or run percentages in the NFL so far. So Rojo probably gonna pay off. Next we got AJ Green for Royce Freeman, the rinsing of Dylan Diego. I think this trade isn't as bad as it was made up to be. I think Noah definitely wins because he's getting a potentially top 10 receiver
Mm,
for essentially
I don't see him
potentially.
as top 10,
Okay, he has the top 10 upside though is
I
the thing.
guess.
But AJ Green has shown over the years that he is glass. But like you said, Royce Freeman has a pretty high floor. My only issue is he is not in a great offense and he's going to continue to split carries with Philip Lindsay.
Hmm.
I don't think he's going to emerge there. So I think Dylan should have got a little bit of a more generous pick swap there, but honestly no clear winner for that one. You have a split there. I think you win that trade, Noah, handily, but we'll have
Yeah,
to
I
agree to
think I
disagree.
think it's quite even. I'm just very high on Royce Freeman though, so
Broncos homer.
yeah, Broncos homer. All right.
Billick take a shot every time I say homer.
We got pickup of the week here. So our pickup is obviously Deontay Johnson, the new AB in town, except he's not a clown.
Woo!
Um, yeah, Deontay Johnson's looking like a really good receiver too on that offense, and um, based on last week, could be the receiver one. I'm not saying he's better than Juju, but um, he definitely has somewhat of a rapport with Rudolph, and he's looking to get a lot of volume, and we're gonna see kind of where that leads him, but it's a really good pickup.
Yeah, he had the fumble, obviously, but ever since he's moving into that number 3 role in Pittsburgh, he's been putting up numbers.
Hmm.
Drop of the week we got next. Yeah, of course, Ramey dropping Jordan Howard the week before he goes off. 3 touchdowns, getting most of the carries in the Philadelphia backfield, which is obviously going to be one of the better offenses in the NFL. So you're a dud, Ramey, for not holding Jordan Howard a little bit longer. You know, he was getting pretty even work with Miles Sanders even week 3. I think he was getting more work, and he's been the goal line back all season. So
Yeah,
you're dud.
I mean Howard, like he was splitting carries, so I can kind of see where Amy's coming from, but the fact that he keeps Kareem Hunt on his bench, who's suspended, over
Oh,
the running back who is definitely the goal line back on that team and who was splitting quite evenly. Um, it's kind of a question mark there. So you can't expect the 3 touchdown game, but I mean you had a lot better options to drop.
I think you just say that, Noah, because you're the Chubb owner, so you want
No, I
Ramey. You
don't
want
want Hunt.
Ramey to drop. You want
I
him to
do
drop
not
Hunt so
even
you can
want
get
Hunt.
the
Don't worry about
real,
that.
the
The
true
true
RB one.
RB1.
Yeah, and you know it.
Yeah, not gonna happen. All right, let's head into the PR.
Yep.
James is number 10, and he's staying 10. He's very consistent in his placement in the PR, but his roster is very inconsistent. He has good players. Like he's got some good solid players. Josh Jacobs, Tyler Lockett, Marlon Mack, Joe Mixon, but they each take their turns going off. He can't keep it together all in one week. Hooper's looking like a every week starter at the tight end position. He's feeling pretty bad. He didn't take that seventh round pick for Hawkinson earlier in the year. Marlon Mack's got an ankle injury. We got to see. Apparently, it's not that serious, but we still got to see with that. Um, what else we got here? He's got a lot of trust in this Seattle passing game. And for a team that likes to run, I don't know if I'd have that much trust. He's got the top 2 receivers and Russell Wilson, and they're all slotted in his starting lineup. And Diggs finally got his yards. I mean, he fumbled, I believe, but he got his yardage. So things may be looking up, but that offense just loves to run. They just love to run.
Yeah, I can. The only thing I can say about this roster is what do you do in starting Lockett and Metcalf week in, week out? That's just. I know you had to bench Diggs this week. Bad luck that he went off, but starting both of those guys from the Seattle offense, you're just limiting your upside, James.
Huge limit of the upside.
Next on the list we got number 9, Dylan. Surprised he didn't move down because he couldn't go any further with James as the plug at the bottom. I'd love to move you down, Dylan, but I just can't do it, unfortunately. Finally, decided to start Chark, and the first week he starts him, doesn't get a TD. I think he had one, but it was called back.
Yes, it was called back.
Pretty unfortunate. We were pumping Dak up before, but is he for real? You got to consider that those first 3 weeks he was playing some really easy defenses with Miami, the Giants, and the Redskins. So now that he actually played a real defense, he laid a stinker. So who knows about Dak going forward? I wouldn't worry too much, but maybe he's not as elite of an option as we once thought. Running backs on this team just aren't going to cut it, even with that acquisition in Freeman. No stud running backs. You know, you're not going to be making the playoffs or going anywhere without some top 10 guys. Other thing is Cortland Sutton on the bench. That one is one thing looking good for Dylan. he's been putting up numbers pretty consistently, and Joe Flacco's shown that he can support two fantasy relevant receivers, which is pretty surprising. But yeah,
And I mean, this team's nickname says it all. My entire team is hot garbage, right? Like he knows, but he's gonna try and swing some trades. I think he's gonna go for some running backs here, and he's gonna try and make a push to get into that wild card spot.
I could just picture Dylan trembling and grabbing the jug of bleach the other night when we're all roasting him
No,
in the group chat, man.
yeah,
I love you,
I
Dylan.
was
I love you
sticking up
so
for him
much, buddy.
because I felt it was a split trade, but
We don't want you to quit the league like me,
no.
buddy.
Sterling's next. He's projected like super low this week, although he does have his starting running back on bye, but still, it's going to be a tough sledding with his matchups. Touchdown Williams is the only player in the league to have a touchdown in every single game. Every week I keep on saying he can't continue this, he can't continue this, but maybe he can. I don't think he's gonna end up with 16 touchdowns, but he could definitely get double digits on this offense because they just love throwing it to him. Um, Cooper Cooper, I was about to say Cooper Cup. Amari Cooper was shut down like crazy versus Lattimore. Lattimore pretty much was one of the worst cornerbacks in the first few weeks. I think he gave up the most yards, but he kind of turns it on when he's got tough competition. So he really shut Cooper down. You kind of expect more from him. Carry On's got lots of yards. Last week he had like 150 plus scrimmage, but he fumbled away a touchdown, which hurt not only Sterling's fantasy team but the Lions themselves. And he's got a lot of injuries. You see all those O's on his bench?
So many injuries.
That is a lot of injuries, and he doesn't have a lot of fill-in options.
Yeah, tough luck with the injuries for real. Yeah, on Johnson, lots of yards, but fumbled, like you said. Since CJ Anderson left, though, he's been getting quite an uptick in work 20 and 26 carries the last 2 weeks. So, big concern of him was that there's going to be quite a bit of a split. He wasn't going to get the work, so I think he's kind of trending upwards.
Oh,
Um,
one last the last trade we forgot on the trade list.
to
Sterling
Marcus for an eighth.
Demarcus Robinson for an eighth. I think
Yeah,
looking at his lineup now, it might have been good that he traded an eighth. Just looking at the options he has,
that's
but I
true.
still
All
think
those
he overpaid.
injuries. Yeah, it's like he didn't, he wasn't giving up a second though,
Yeah.
So an eighth really doesn't crush you too much. A good acquisition for him though, Cole Beasley. He's been quietly consistent. That guy,
Hmm.
that little Beasley. Next we got Antoine moving up one spot this week with a fat win over me. Not too convinced though, considering that my team had a pretty rough week. Kenny Golladay is breaking out officially. I called it like 2 years too early. Last year he started to break out, but this year he is Stafford's favorite guy in the end zone, and like he's looking for Kenny in the end zone. He had another touchdown that was called back. I think it was there a penalty or was it out of bounds? There was another touchdown called back,
They
but
just
yeah,
reviewed it off and then they didn't catch it.
Mm. Anyway, Stafford's looking at him like crazy in the end zone. Gallman had a good week for him. Sitting on the bench, though. Gotta wonder, did he really overpay? If Gallman is putting up the same numbers as Saquon, it'll be, it'll take some time to tell. But if he has him for, 3 to 5 weeks and he's putting up 20 points, then it might end up not being a terrible deal. Juju Smith-Schuster, more like Juju Smith Poopster.
You had it right in front of you. It's doo doo.
Oh no, Doo Smith Poopster. That's what it should have been. I'm worried about Juju, man. Mason Rudolph throwing the ball short to the running backs and to Deontay Johnson. It could come on in a couple of weeks. There's hope, but he definitely does not have the top 10 wide receiver upside that you drafted him for. Even a wide receiver 2 at this point, I'd say he's a wide receiver 2, but like not even a high level wide receiver 2. He is most affected for sure by that Big Ben injury. Daryl Williams was a pretty decent pickup. We were considering him for pickup of the week, but ultimately couldn't do it because he's so touchdown dependent and he had a fumble, not really much yardage. But in that KC offense, if he's starting, there's going to be plenty of opportunity for touchdowns. So maybe you want to flex Daryl or Gallman over whoever the fuck else you had this week, Twan. Chris Thompson was in there. I don't know who his flex was. But yeah, maybe you want to get one of those guys in the starting lineup. Maybe there is hope after all for this guy though, with Gallman and Daryl Williams. You know, we moved him down quite a bit, but who knows? He got the win over me. Maybe he could squeak by until Saquon gets back and then be a sneaky playoff team, wild card team.
Yeah, his flex was Ridley because Galladay was in the starting lineup, but he's got a bye this week.
Okay,
Um,
Ridley's fine. Ridley's a fine flex. Bad
yeah,
week for him, but whatever.
and yeah, rounding up this team, I mean, he's got the fullback for the New York Giants on his team, so I'm kind of wondering what the heck he's doing there.
What are you doing?
Like why are you going? Like he's a converted fullback slash running back, but still, you don't
That
want him for
says it
fantasy.
all.
You want the one yard goal line plunge, and that's about it.
Yep.
All right, Tyson, Tyson. So unlucky. Unlucky he had to play me. Like he had the second most points in the of the week.
So unlucky.
So unlucky. Like, but I mean, he had a lot of, I wouldn't say luck, but a lot of his matchups were quite good for him. Rodgers and Jones carved out Philly. Gurley had like 5 rushes, and 2 of them were touchdowns. Like, how is that going to happen every week? I mean, it's possible, but it's not looking that great for Gurley. Um, when I was watching the Texans game, I actually wasn't watching Texans game, but all of a sudden I got a notification that Hopkins had thrown an interception. And I was really confused. I thought there was an issue with Sleeper. I'm like, man, this app is junk. And then I go and I watch the replay, and Hopkins threw a pick in the red zone. I don't know what Bill O'Brien's calling, but it was a pretty bad throw. It was a nice spiral, but it was a bad decision. Um, Disley is a good tight end fill-in. He was also a consideration for pickup of the week, but it was so obvious he was playing Arizona. Like everyone's going off against Arizona, so pick up Tyler Eifert. Um, yeah, he's finally got receiver depth now too, because he did the trade with me. He got Curtis Samuel, he's got Crowder, and Darnold's almost back, so Crowder might be good again. And he picked up Marquise Brown as well, so he's got some options at receiver where before he was literally down to 3. So
Yeah, a couple trades he did. I think he took the L, but you know, he gave up. He doesn't like Ronald Jones. He doesn't need him on the bench. He's got the starting three running
oh
backs. It
yeah.
makes sense that he'd sacrifice him for another receiver. But his top two receivers are a little concerning, man. D Hop, you know, he hasn't been putting up the biggest numbers. Hopefully he'll get back on track. I'm sure he will. And Brandon Cooks hasn't been terrible, but I think he's definitely the three on the Rams.
Hmm.
Still a good receiver, but those two have kind of let you down a little bit, I'd say.
Definitely let him down.
All right, next number 5. You moved up, buddy.
No,
You
he
moved.
didn't move up
Did
at
we?
all.
Oh shit! Top 4 guarantee. Sorry, Nick. I had you in the top 4, but we're keeping you down until you can prove it because your 3 wins are against the 3 bottom teams of this PR. You know, you do have the points for, but you have me and Tyson in the coming weeks, some tougher matchups. So if you can prove it against us and get those wins, that'll be the reason to move you up. Condog, your boy, he beasted out this week in a pretty good matchup against Cincinnati. Makes me wonder if I should have held him and then traded him. But you know, that makes you feel a little bit better, but then you really see that he was splitting 50-50 with Samuel, so could be worrisome rest of season, but regardless, he had a good week. You picked the right QB between Lamar and Deshaun. Seems like that has been a little inconsistent lately, but you got him this week, man. That's good. Adam Thielen has me a little bit worried. They are not passing the ball like they did last year. And Thielen called Kirk Cousins the fuck out. I'm gonna read this quote real quick.
Okay.
So Adam Thielen said, "At some point, you're not going to be able to run the ball for 180 yards, even with the best running back in the NFL." That's Dalvin Cook, by the way, best running back in the NFL. That's when you have to be able to throw the ball. You have to be able to make plays. You have to be able to hit the deep balls. Called his quarterback the fuck out, man. Kirk Cousins was crying after that for sure. Thielen definitely not the top 10 guy he was last year, though. Maybe they'll switch it up and start throwing more, but he is going to be kind of touchdown dependent. Fournette balled the hell out, like 200
Oh,
yards.
he destroyed the
After
Broncos.
looking like shit, just looked awesome. So that's good for Fournette. FNet. Uh, and Mike Evans had another good week, and it came out that he was dealing with the first 2 weeks of the season. So I think that offense is going to be able to maintain two top 10 receivers with Godwin and Evans. So a little bit of worry about Evans after the first two games, but you're chilling now. You really are. Yeah, that's next team. You're not moving up yet, buddy.
Yeah, I'll take full blame for this, Nick. Josh had himself below you. I couldn't do it. I feel like you lost his trade to him, even though Connor went off. I mean, that's not happening every week. And yeah, like looking at your starters compared to his starters, I really, I really couldn't do it. I'm sorry, Nick. I mean, you can, I don't know, do throw poop at my door or whatever. I don't know what you're gonna do, but like
Get
like
fucked,
let's
Nick.
dive into Josh's lineup here, right? Let's
Hmm.
see. Dalvin Cook, yeah, that's better than your running back. Melvin Gordon, yeah, that's better than your RB2. Chris Carson, okay, maybe you got the RB3. Okay, we'll give you the RB3. Receiver one, Julio Jones, yeah, that's better than Mike Evans, even though Julio Jones has been somewhat inconsistent. Cooper Cup,
He had
yeah,
one
that's
bad
better
game.
than your other receiver. You might have a better receiver three, but that's debatable. And Josh has got you on the tight end. You are winning at the quarterback though, Nick. You got one or two spots on your starting lineup, so there's looking up. You can do it. Other than that, Chris Carson didn't lose a fumble this week, so that's good for him. Deontay was a great pickup, as mentioned before. And Sanders is still stuck in that committee. He's trying to claw his way out. He's trying, but I don't know. Peterson's just gonna Peterson, you know? He's just
Yeah,
gonna
he
continue doing it.
his carries have been decreasing every week, so I cry.
Yeah, and so you picked up Winston, hey? So now you got
Hmm.
that QB carousel. Is that gonna be starting soon?
I
Because
have no idea who I'm
because
starting
the
next
little
week.
Jannies
I
might
actually
want to
don't
get
know.
on it and go for a nice ride, you know?
Woo!
Oh, we'll see what happens with that.
I'm excited to start the carousel. Number three, we got Ramon moving up a spot with the loss, although it was a close game. One of the reasons we're moving up is because CMC is just such a fucking monster, the true RB1 without a
Mm.
doubt. Like if anybody could pick a guy, it's CMC. They're gonna destroy this man. He is never even gonna get paid. They're putting him in the dirt. 11 broken tackles this week. I don't even know how many points he had, quite a bit, but yeah, he's the guy. Adams came out after the trade and was looking gross the first week. Broke his career record for yard game. Probably could have put up like 30 points, 35 points if he played the whole game because they were looking for him in the end zone. But that turf toe is going to hurt. He is out this week, and I imagine he'll probably miss 1 or 2 more weeks after this one. It's tough to say. I think he is kind of like it's looking good for him, but he's for sure out this week. Devonta Freeman had another decent game because he was heavily involved in the passing game, which is going to be important considering the Falcons don't look good at all. But
Oh,
Ito Smith is eaten into his goal line work. So, like Freeman, a 12-point game is, that's like the best you're going to get almost. Like, he is not the Freeman of old. You know, he, yeah, he doesn't have that upside that he once did. And this team still no answer at QB. He thought Danny Dimes, the boy, might come in and save him, but he put up a stinky 11.3 against a junk Washington defense. Baker Mayfield had an all right week, 15.78, but they won on the ground. Like this guy still has to figure out what he's gonna do at QB if he's gonna take home the Stace.
yeah, he would have won if he put in Mayfield.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, Sammy Watkins is not really the player you would expect him to be, considering he's the receiver one on the Kansas City Chiefs. Um, DJ Moore has been very like gone from that Carolina offense with Kyle Allen there. DJ Moore is more of a Cam Newton toy. Um, yeah, his receivers are kind of taking a dump on the depth side, but he's got a lot of studs. George Kittle doesn't have a bye so anymore, so he'll be able to play him the rest of the year. All right, we're moving on to Jaden. We had to move you
Moving
down.
down. Oh, buddy.
It's there's there's not many reasons to move you down, but there's a few, and I'll go over them right now for you. Austin Eckler is not gonna be daddy anymore. He's not gonna get you those 20 points a week like you're used to. You're not gonna be able to get those guaranteed, almost pretty much guaranteed points every week from him because he's not gonna be the RB1 with Gordon back. Mahomes didn't have any touchdowns, but he still scored the 18 points, so he's still doing really good even without those touchdowns. Um, you should have lost. You should have lost. You piss poor management. You sat the New England defense and you put in the Colts defense. I mean, yeah, they were playing Oakland, but still, like, you don't sit New England's defense when they hadn't allowed a single touchdown all year. Like, come on.
Come
Your
on,
your
Billick.
receiver depth is good on paper, but have they been producing? I don't know. Jarvis Landry had a good week, but I think that's because the Baltimore Ravens sold out and tried to cover OBJ the entire time, so they was just leaving Landry open. Um, yeah, I mean, you're gonna need a little bit more consistency at your running back now that Eckler's gone down, but I mean Shady's been doing good. Um, and Frank Gore or Devin Singletary should be fine as a fill-in on the bye weeks. But yeah, losing Eckler's huge.
Yeah, like Eckler is gonna get a downgrade with Gordon back, but I think he's still gonna be a flexible guy
Oh,
for
he'll
sure.
be
Like he was a
flexible for
flex
sure.
last year. He's a good flex, and he might even get more again last year. I think he's almost earned it at this point. Although he did have that short yardage situation with the fumble, so that type of work is definitely going to go to Gordon. You said he has piss poor management, should have lost, but I reckon Ramey had more piss poor management for
Yeah.
starting Danny Dime good game against the guy he drafted in Baker Mayfield. So, Billick had some bad management, but Ramey also did. He deserves the L. Plus, it feels good to see Ramey lose.
I'm one win away from him in the all-time wins.
Holy, you're gonna hear about it next week, folks. Okay, lastly, we got Noah, top of the PR, moving up one spot. He deserves it. Just look at this team. All of you want this team. Just look at it. Oh, you're drooling. Kamara, Nick Chubb with the beast game. Like, he's been getting all the work these past 2 weeks, just looking like such a stud.
Full
Michael
chub.
Thomas, yeah, fucking Chubb. No, we're talking fully erect, boys. Complete raging boner. None of that Chubb bullshit. Get that out of here. Michael Thomas and Kamara, no problem without Teddy. They've been fine. Godwin, there was concerns after Evans went off last week. Like, oh, maybe he isn't the 1A, maybe he's the 2. Oh, God, no. It's like a 1A, 1B situation still. And I think he is the 1A. If not, he's the 1AA and Evans is the 1AB. Like it's so close. He's fine. He's top 10 receiver right now. What is he, like number 4, number 5?
Number three.
Absolutely. Like we are saying you reached for him. No fucking way. He's golden. Some downsides to this team. MVS, who he got in the trade. This is just pitter patter bullshit. But he really hasn't stepped up, especially with Adams missing that last quarter of the game last week. They were looking at MVS, and he just hasn't shown it for me as a Packers fan. But there's not too much else I can complain about. He had a couple trades this week. Got a nice RB3 in Rojo, who's trending upwards. He probably thought Duke Johnson was going to be that guy, but good on you changing your roster, going out and making some acquisitions. AJ Green could be this guy's wide receiver 3. I know he's got injury concerns, but if he comes back and he's healthy and he's playing good, he's gonna have Green as his wide receiver 3, as Woods as his flex. Watch out, boys. This team is scary, scarier than Scary Terry, who I'm not scared of anymore with that junk hamstring.
Yeah, I mean, some of my depth is very questionable. I mean, Duke Johnson, yeah, he actually played more snaps than Hyde last game, so I'm not giving up on him, but he's going to be stashed on my bench for a long time. Latavius Murray is just a very expensive handcuff. Rex Burkhead, he was injured, so I don't know. But yeah, some of my RB depth specifically is kind of very questionable, and
Hmm.
I don't know why I'm sticking on to OJ Howard. I can't give him up, but
Yeah,
he's
he's
probably just
he's
gonna rot
droppable
on
at
my
this point.
bench, and
You gotta drop him.
I can't do it, man. I can't do
Oh,
it.
jeez. Well, Michael Gallup's gonna be back soon, so that's gonna help out with the receiver depth, like you fucking need it anyhow. Well, yeah, I guess so. But that'll be nice when he comes back.
Yeah, he'll
Number
be
one.
nice as my receiver four.
Yep. Sorry, Billick.
All right. Week. Oh, wow. I didn't not change that. It should be week five matchups. Oops. Um, I'm a,
Jesus fuck
it's
Noah.
the first
Junk
year
commish.
of a podcast, boys.
Burn
Um,
him at the stake, boys.
all right.
Jesus.
So some of these, um, from now on, some of these projections are going to be way off because of buys or whatever. Um,
95% chance of winning for fucking Billick. Sorry, Twan. Good luck,
like,
bud.
I mean, he's missing a quarterback and I think one other player.
Yeah,
Um,
you just got disregard that.
but I still believe that Jaden is the heavy favorite in that one. I'm missing a defense against Dylan. I'm still projected to win. So,
Weird,
yeah,
weird flex, but okay.
that's a 4-0 versus 0-4. So not much to see there.
Dylan
Um,
takes another swig of bleach.
uh, man, you gotta ease that off, man. Josh is facing James. James is gonna try and get back on track, but he's not. It's not looking like an easy matchup. We gotta wait and find an easy matchup for James to hype him up, you know?
If I lose to James, I'll blow my fucking brains out on the PR live.
Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa! I
You
don't want that live. That'd be
you heard
so
it first,
awkward. How am
folks.
I supposed to continue on the show with that?
That's how we end it. That's the end note.
Oh, okay. Ramey facing Sterling. I know Sterling's got some people in buy too, so that should be slightly closer, but we kind of expect Ramey to win that. And the closest matchup is the five versus the six. We got Nick and we got Tyson, and it's super tight in the projections. Nick's projected higher, and this might be able to catapult Nick up if he wins.
Yeah, that's really the only tight matchup this week. The other four kind of have a clear favorite. Maybe Billick and Twan will be close. I doubt it, but Nick and Tyson is going to be the game to watch. My money is on Nick, surprisingly. I think he'll pull through. Actually, but Tyson's had a couple of decent weeks. I think Nick will do it though.
Yeah, I think I almost called an upset of the week. I called Ramey as upset of the week last week. I was very close.
You
Just
almost
missed
had it.
out.
You could have had it if he wasn't a dud.
And I'm going to say I can't really call any upsets, but I'm gonna go against you, and I think Tyson takes out Nick.
You think so? Are you gonna water bet it, bro?
Um, sure,
Oh,
we'll water bet it.
there we go. I got you, Nick. You better not disappoint me.
All right. Well, we trimmed down the time a little bit, not too much. So we're gonna keep it at that. And yeah, stay little dick, guys.
Stay little dicked, boys, and looking forward to some Catan on Thursday night
Oh, Thursday
with
night Catan.
with my little dicked boys.
See you then.
See you
Bye.
then, boys. Bye.